Hey guys, welcome back to the craft room. So this here is a doormat from the Dollar Tree, and what I did is I hooped tearaway stabilizer, and I used like these foam squares that were double-sided from the Dollar Tree to kind of hold it in place, and then put a piece of water-soluble stabilizer over it. And the reason being is we are going to make this. Hopefully. So I bought the horror design off of Etsy as well as the font for the Welcome Friends. I made that part myself. I just combined them together and we're going to see if this works together. So the first color stock is red on this design, and it is going to be all of the backgrounds of it. Let me show you this here. This is what it's supposed to look like when it's done. And I went through and wrote down what colors for each dot. So this is the first one. It's going to be red. We're going to cross our fingers and hope this works. Okay, so stop one is done. As you can see, it did stitch out. However, I originally had my water-soluble tape down with blue masking tape, which did not stick to the mat. And what happened is it got bunched up in a couple places. So what I'm going to do is make some strategic cuts around it, and we'll just go from there and just hope that everything else turns out good. So the next stop is going to be stop number 2, which is Freddy's glove, and it's light brown. So I'm going to change out my thread, cut this stabilizer up, and then I will be back. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to babysit this and make sure it doesn't grab in any place, because I did cut it a little bit close to the design edge. And like right here, I might cut a little bit off there too still. I haven't decided yet. But here we go with stop 2. Okay, so we are at stop 3, which is going to be the flesh parts of Chucky, Jason, and Freddy. And I went ahead and I just taped down the borders here. The tape's not really sticking to the mat, but it's at least holding the stabilizer down so that the foot will not catch it. So step 4 is going to be Chucky's stripes in his shirt. It calls for magenta. There's also going to be gray, blue, and white as well. So far, knock on wood, so good. Step 5 is going to be his gray stripes in his shirt. his overalls and his mouth. So this calls for like a, I would have done the overalls in like a denim blue because that's what color they are in the show, but because this step also does the inside of his mouth, I'm going to go with the suggestion, and that is go with navy blue. And here we go with step 6. And step 6 also does a little bit of Michael Myers clothes there as well. Step 7 is going to be Chucky's hair, which is going to be orange, and I will be back in a minute. Halfway there now. So the next step is step number 8. It's Chucky's eyes and Jason's clothes. So I'm using a blue that's just a little bit lighter than that navy. So as you can see, the fill stitches are pretty intense, so they're perforating the stabilizer a little bit. I'm just going to babysit it, make sure everything's okay. So the next one is going to be Freddy's hat, the marks on his face, and Michael's hair. And it's going to be a dark brown. Okay, so Freddy's face details kind of sunk in. I'm gonna have to clean them up a little bit too. But I mean, you can still see them. And as you can see, this fill stitches are really shredding this stabilizer. But we are now on step 10, which is the white parts of Ghostface and Michael and It and Jason, and it's also got the most stitches. Well, I take that back. Their black is probably going to be just a teeny bit more, but this is one of the biggest steps here. It's going to be white, and I will just periodically video. I'm really going to be babysitting the stabilizer, so might even put another piece down. Not 100% yet, but I'm just gonna see how it goes. Okay, we are in the home stretch now. So I had to put another piece of WSS there because it was just shredded from all the fill stitches. But everything's good now. And we are about to do step 11, which is the red details for Saw, Pennywise, and Jason. So stop 12 is going to be the gray details of Michael Myers and Saw. And I'm thinking that's all. Okay, so step 13 is the black details for each picture. And this is actually the step that has the most stitches in it. Trying to see. Hold on, let me see how many stitches it is. It is 17,000 stitches just for these black details. And in retrospect, for these gray details on like Saw, I mean, you can see them kind of pretty good if you're like looking at it. Like the camera's really not picking it up that good, but I would have used a much darker gray instead, just to make it stand out more. Step 14 is going to be Freddy's nails. So the final step, which is step 15 for this design, is the satin stitch around each picture and the whole thing. And it is going to be black. have left is the words that I'm going to put, which is welcome friends in bloody drip letters. So I'll just take a couple little snippets of progress and then I will be back. And here it is all done. I need to charge my phone real quick and then I will be back to show you what I'm going to do next. So the first thing I'm going to do is trim all this excess off because I keep a bag full of scraps because you never know how small of a piece you're going to need. So all I did was gently rip it up and you're left with these little bits like here, along here. This is the only thing I don't like about this particular design is there is no stitches right here. The other thing I don't like is Chucky's mouth is blue. And I'm going to take a Sharpie and I'm going to color it. And then I'm going to color his lips. Maybe pink or something. So over here, I'm going to color this edge right here black with a Sharpie. And just do little touch-ups here and there on the design with Sharpies. Now, to get rid of these little bits and pieces, you're going to take a wet rag, not like dripping, but very wet, and just start dabbing until it dissolves. And I do this while it's still in the hoop. Just seems to work better for me. Okay, so everything is still kind of damp, and I have quite a few jump threads I still need to clean up, but I'm going to let this dry overnight, and then I'm going to check it to make sure that I got all the little pieces of stabilizer, and at that point I will unhoop it and show you the back and how I'm going to use Sharpies to fix it. Okay, here it is next morning. It's dry. I do need to clean up some jump stitches. It is still in the hoop. So I wanted to show you how I did. These are the foam sticky squares. They, for the most part, keep it in place. But I put them on the outside of my hoop too. And I have a feeling I'm going to have a fun time getting those off. So what I did is I drew a line to get the complete center. Sorry about that, I got a phone call. So on the back here, you can see this is tearaway. And I'm just gonna undo my hoop. And this is a 7 by 14, I believe, hoop for my Janome. Honestly, if it wasn't this big, I probably would not have been able to do this. And here's a foam squares that I put on. I have one still stuck to the mat. Came right off. I did put some on my hoop, as I was saying. And I will have to, this is just tearaway. That's what. Okay, so I have the Sharpies. So the first thing I'm gonna do is, see right here? I'm not sure what the deal was there, but it's kind of ridged, so I'm thinking that's it. So I'm just gonna take this black Sharpie and color right there. And you can't tell that it wasn't black to begin with. So I'm just gonna go around, and anywhere that I feel needs a little bit of color, it's kind of a cheat, but it works. So, like I said before, I really don't like the fact that Chucky's mouth is blue inside. And I feel like his lips need a little bit of color too. So I'm just gonna try to color the lips just slightly with this pink. And I kind of overdid it a little there, but might a little bit. Kind of give a little bit of accents in his skin, maybe. Kind of cover that up. So I was gonna try to make his mouth kind of grayish, or at least mute that blue just a little, and that's good enough for me. Alright. His looks pretty decent. Overall, I am pleased. Again, oh, that's what I wanted to do. Let's color that. was supposed to be a satin stitch and it kind of sunk in, so it did not look 100% there, but it looks much better now. I don't like the fact that there's no stitches here. And I'm going to message the person that did the design and just mention that to them, see if that's something that they can rectify, because otherwise I think this is a really good design. And considering I stitched it out on a blank that has ridges and stuff, it did fantastic. So if you haven't already, like and subscribe, and if there's anything you want to see us try, just let me know and we'll try it. I'm gonna go put this in my press and flatten it out, and have a good day, guys. So I decided to make another one. I just wanted to show you, I draw a line to find the exact center with my stabilizer, and that's where I'll put the middle of the mat. And then I put 2 on the inside. There's no design in this area. And then 2 on the hoop there, 1 there, 2, and then 1, 2, and then 1 in the middle, and then 4 there. And that way it will secure the mat enough. And all I do is grab this real quick, fold the mat in half and kind of squish it down, and then I put that fold basically right there, and I kind of figure out, I kind of eyeball it just to see, that looks like dead center. And then I will, hard to do one-handed here, straighten it out, and then one side I will peel off the sticky part, and then I'll stick it down, and that's how I will do it. So as you can see, I didn't just make one, I made a whole bunch. And I used the water soluble on top for this one, as you saw in the video, and also for this pumpkin one, and for this black cat sanctuary. Now when I ripped the stabilizer off of the black cat sanctuary, it messed up the 2Fs. So then I thought, well, maybe I will try to do them without the water soluble on them. Oh, I also did water soluble on this one here. And these 3 here were all done without water soluble on top. And on these particular mats from Dollar Tree, it does 100% sew on top without sinking down. And then with this one, the gray was just too dark of the mat, so I just took a silver Sharpie and I kind of outlined the design there so that you could see it just a little bit better, since it's mainly black. But this, I had seen a video where someone had said that you could embroider on these only if you had a 10 needle or a multi-needle machine. And I only have a single needle machine, but I do have a very large hoop, and you will need a very large hoop in order to do these. So this shows that you 100% can embroider on these mats with a single needle, as long as you have a big enough hoop. Thanks again for watching, guys. If you haven't liked or subscribed yet, please do so. Please feel free to leave a comment and let us know if there's anything you want to see us try. We'd be more than happy to try it out. Thanks.